Rogers Tower Delta 6567 at runway 35 left ready for departure IFR to Salem.
Delta 6567 altimeter 30.22 wind 067 at 10. Cleared for takeoff runway 35 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 35 left Delta 6567.
Hello everybody, welcome in. Please, on your way in or on your way out on YouTube, hit that like and subscribe. Please hit follow if you're watching on Twitch, and if you'd like to, join Discord. That's Matty L Lynn _62552. It is a shit show outside as we are taking off from Oklahoma City. Alright, let's ready to fly. Wait, I was gonna make sure we're squawking. Where's our squawks? Alright, we're squawking. But yeah, oh my god, does it look terrible. I don't know what type of weather they're having, but it's not good. I don't even think there's another, yeah, there's other aircraft. It is barely little after 8 o'clock Eastern, so, well, almost 8:30, so 7:30 their time, the sun's just coming up. Alright, let's power up. Brakes off, and this is the Legacy Delta livery for the A330-900. Oh, you can see the water jetting off and the steam and stuff. Oof.
V1.
Oh, thank you. I hope we have enough runway. Gear up. And co-pilot's aircraft.
Delta 6567 contact Fort Worth Center on 133.9er. Good day.
Going to 133.9er Delta 6567. Fort Worth Center Delta 6567 is passing 1,800 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
Delta 6567 Fort Worth Center altimeter 30.22 radar contact continue.
Oh, see, we have a crew
2000.
back there apparently. Yeah. I don't know what kind of weather that is supposed to be. Is it just stormy, or is that tornado weather and we were probably not supposed to be leaving? That is nasty looking. Alright, so do I have all my lights on that are supposed to be on? Taxi lights can go to off now. No smoking needs to be on, and the seatbelt sign needs to be on. These are things I should have checked before we took off, right? you want flight plan? We are on the Bed Eye. How do you read this one? Doesn't give you your distance. I mean, it gives it down here, our total distance, but I don't see it here.
Delta 6567 climb and maintain flight level 180.
Climb and maintain flight level 180 Delta 6567.
Are we getting out of this mess? Maybe? I thought I saw a break in the clouds. There we go. Wow. Yeah, there's some nasty weather in Oklahoma today. And it's not even 10 o'clock. Not that weather has anything to do with the time. Okay, so I'm doing this flight as a courtesy because I said we were gonna do it the other day, and I bought the scenery for Salem, Oregon. Airport. I had made mistakes before in my going through these alphabetically, but I was able to change things around. This is the last flight because I realized the other day I had screwed up in a way that put everything, let's see, our North Dakota flight to Ohio is where it screwed up. I should have not been to North Dakota to Ohio. It should have been North Dakota to North Islands. Or the Northern Islands.
Delta 6567.
And that's thrown off this whole thing. I
is passing
can't squeeze in Northern Islands anywhere else. Where it's not. We already passed the I's. We're already done with the ends. And this is the second mistake. I've got Alabama, DC to Mobile in here.
Delta 6567.
But that didn't really screw up going to DC to Montgomery, Alabama. But this is going to be the last flight for this playlist, and the U.S. capitals to U.S. capitals and territories playlist. I think I don't know when I'll start a new playlist. I knew I was throwing ideas around about doing U.S. military bases, or going to a new country and doing that. Canada would be kind of straightforward. You got their capital, and then you got the capital of all their provinces, and then you got they've got 3 territories. But with that said, I will not. And I've been using Wikipedia as my guide to go through lists. I will go through the list as it appears. I won't be doing them alphabetical again. So I don't have this issue because, again, I had the U.S. the states list. I didn't scroll to the bottom of the page to where the territories were at. So I didn't remember that there was an N that needed to go in after North Dakota. Like I said, I couldn't in my mind continue our flights because the flights are off. Okay, Ohio to Oklahoma, Oklahoma to Oregon. They're not off. but North Dakota to Ohio is what's off. And it would just drive me nuts knowing that I made that mistake. There's no way to squeeze in the northern island in there, and it would drive me nuts more so than the Montgomery, Alabama, or the Mobile, Alabama one. So I'm just gonna quit. Unfortunately, we were halfway through the list before I realized I had screwed up. But so that I don't screw up again in any future playlists, we'll just go down the list. Screw alphabetical order, we'll just go down the list. We got pretty quiet traffic, ATC this morning. Okay, landing lights should have went off like 10,000 feet ago.
Climb and maintain flight level tree 60 Delta 6567.
So, I thrown out I was rolling around ideas. I found it interesting. I don't know how many people actually find what I'm doing interesting. It does get a few views consistently. I haven't seen any of my videos get no views other than, I mean, they always get one view. What I'm saying is, I've always seen more than one view. But I was looking at, and I think we'll do this next, because I was looking at doing what would be easiest and smallest, pretty much straightforward. If I pick the U.S. Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines, there's also closed installations and some World War II things that pop up on the list. Whether we could go to some of those closed or World War II airports or airfields would be interesting. I didn't see anything in the list, though, saying anything about World War One, so there might not be any World War One airports that are still existing, or airfields, especially in battle areas. But there's all that. There's and then the U.S. Coast Guard helo pads, because there's in game. We can't get any Coast Guard cutters that are out in the water to land on them. The Navy, I'll hit the U.S. naval carriers, and we would do hops to them. The Air Force. So I'm gonna try to pick as many aircraft or things as possible to do, so I'm gonna have to do that in 2024, so I can make one big purchase each time I want to do something with the credits. Like Navy, with the Navy I need to use the carriers. We already have the Hornet. I might get the Tomcat. I don't know what else I would pick up for U.S. Navy. I think those two jets are enough. Air Force, I would definitely pick up Air Force One. I already have the F-16. I might pick up the F-22, and possibly, because I'm going to do Air National Guard, Air National Guard will be a separate playlist, but Air National Guard, I might pick up a C-130. For the Marines, I'm not sure what to pick up. I gotta look at what they actually use for aircraft. I think they use F-16s and F-18s as well, but I'd have to get a, Marine livery. But I'd rather get something specific that they solely used, not that's repainted from another, that's a cross-branched one. Army, we already have two, we have a plane and a helicopter, and when I do the Army, I'm automatically throwing in the MASH scenery as a location for us to go to. So that will be landing at MASH with the MASH helicopter and taking off. Under Navy, I'm throwing this under Navy. We'll go to the Magnum PI scenery, so the Robin's Nest in Honolulu. We can either do a seaplane landing or a helicopter landing. So with the Army, yeah, we got the two. They don't usually, and, Coast Guard, like I said,
Good day.
on Coast Guard, we don't really have a
126
livery.
decimal tree Delta 6567. Goodbye.
I don't know if they have a specific
Fort Worth Center
helicopter.
Delta 6567 is at flight level tree 25 climbing flight level tree 60.
With the Marines, I need to pick up the Sea King, if I can find a Sea King. So we can do some Marine 1 ops, because we will be going to the White House with the Marines when I get to that playlist. The same thing with the Army. Army, I will go to the Pentagon, which means I'd have to do that flight in 2024 because I need to make a specialized takeoff and landing. Same thing with when we do Air Force. I am going to do a stall takeoff from Bowling Air Force Base, or Joint Base Bowling Anacostia. But I know where the runway is, and we will take off from where the runway used to be. Just like when we do Marine 1 to the White House, there's Marine 1 hangar is at Bowling Air Force Base now.
410 Delta 6567.
Or I can do from the I can also do the original takeoff from the Marine base further down the Potomac, 40 miles away from DC. So with Coast Guard, I don't know if they have any aircraft, but I do know they do helos. And I don't know if the list will pull things up like that. I know this for a fact, and I've looked in the game. Portsmouth Naval Hospital in Portsmouth, Virginia, has a helo pad.
Good day.
So I don't know if that pulls up
128
under naval
Delta
installations or
6567.
not.
Goodbye.
Which makes me raise a question of
Fort Worth Center Delta
if I put in
6567 is at flight level tree 50 climbing flight level 410.
if I want a list of all airports
Delta 6567 Fort
and
Worth
helo
Center, radar
pads,
contact.
will it show up in a
Continue
list?
by IP.
Same thing with Portsmouth Coast Guard base. There's no identifier code. There's no ICAO. There's no FAA code for it. In game, there's a code, but that code is 4 digits long, which is not accurate. I mean, it's not real. The same thing with Portsmouth Naval Hospital's helo pad. It's not, doesn't have an ICAO code or an the IAA code or whatever. The other codes US uses that are 3 digits long. So like I said, I don't know if they pop up on lists, and that would drive me nuts if I know something and yet I don't pop it. It doesn't pop on a list. Whereas I can get around the problem of the Pentagon. That's an in-game thing. We see it there. We see the helo pad at the Pentagon. We just have to come up with a way to land. Man, there's not not some good weather today. Makes me wonder, are we gonna land in Salem before sunrise? Should. Anyway, back to where I'm at. So, and then I'm gonna do NASA. NASA seems to be more interesting. I've been looking at it. I'm not gonna buy the scenery to watch a shuttle launch. I'm not gonna buy the shuttle itself and try to do a glide and landing at Cape Kennedy. I'm gonna buy, what I will buy when we do NASA is I'm gonna buy the shuttle and its 747 carrier, that bundle package, and we're just gonna do a fictitious, of course, fictitious. We're gonna do let Atlantis go on a tour of all the places it could have landed. Legitimate landings, emergency landings, secondary designated landings. We're gonna take it on tours all over the place, and we're gonna start off by taking her. Well, she's already at Kennedy IRL, so my plan there is the first video will be I gotta come up with some special plan for us to land with the shuttle on our back at Kennedy. That will probably be a short intro video there. I've been planning that because I think that's what I'm gonna do next is NASA, and the shuttle aircraft carrier SAC, or no, shuttle carrier aircraft is SCA was the short term for it. It did have specific call signs, usually with the shuttle's tail number. I gotta come up with some other way. It won't be with the... Its call sign will be NASA and then whatever flight number I pick. I used to pick it by the state we were leaving from and then going to, the postal code. I think we'll just do its destination code. So for Cape Kennedy, we'll do, well, Florida obviously is in there, FL. But Cape Kennedy, so that's C and K, and then FL. So that will be its call, the flight numbers. I think that's 2535. So it'd be NASA 2535. And I think Edwards Air Force Base is next on the list. I don't have a way to do that unless we just do Edwards and then we take the letter E and then CA for California. So that would be NASA 323. Yeah, and so on. It will all be in the same flight, or all be in the same aircraft. And yeah, we'll just we'll go to all places. I looked at the list of landing areas
Goodbye.
for the shuttle, and
Kansas City Center Delta
there's some I
6567 is passing
was
flight
surprised
level
to
tree
see.
9 or 5, climbing flight level 410.
and
Delta 6567 Kansas City Center
IRL.
Continue to NUAIP.
When the shuttle is being transported, the aircraft transporting it only went as high as 15,000 feet, so they were low altitude. However, within Flight Sim 2020 and 24, 15,000 feet is considered high altitude airways. But I think I will always, on 2020, since that's where I prefer to do my recorded flights, I think I'll just use the low altitude airways. Now, I don't have a 747 of anything in my list right now. I've got the 87, the 07.
Delta 6567, please.
I don't think I have a 747. Have we gotten out of our approach? Yeah, we're well out of our approach. Okay. We're not at cruise yet, or cruise according to me. It is so much louder in the cockpit. That's why we're outside. I don't know why. It's like my noises are reversed for this. I would have loved to have bought the shuttle and did an orbit or descent from orbit into Cape Kennedy, but there's no AI pilot or co-pilot
Delta
feature
6567,
that works
please
with it.
expedite your climb flight level 410.
Uh, Team USA, so Delta. I love this livery. This is the Legacy again. The A330-900 Legacy is, and this was one of the many liveries I had. Like I said, there was a lot of there was 50 liveries for the A330-900 regular, and I think there's 50 liveries for Legacy as well. So yeah.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
Well, I'll have to see what aircraft is used by the Coast Guard. Which aircraft are used, because I'm not going to always use helicopter, because I have to manually land those, and those those definitely have to be done in 2024. We'll attempt to do a landing in them when I got to, but it's not something I care to do all the time. I only have to do a helicopter that I know of at least 2 times. And a helicopter for the Army.
Delta 6567, please expedite
We got
your
the
climb
MASH
flight
and
level
the
410.
Pentagon. The Marines, I know we have 2. We got the Marine 1 hangar at Bowling, and then we have the White House. I also thought of doing this. I don't know how interesting it would be. A playlist. Granted, I'd be using the H-125. Or I don't have to, but that's probably what I would use. Going to all emergency, like fire department, all rescues. So fire department and hospitals.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
That would be a really, really long list. I know from where I live, there's, it's called Lifestar, is the medical transport helicopter, which we don't have in career mode. We don't have medical transport with the helicopter. Just airplanes. There's, one, like, six medical helipads from where I live, going up towards Knoxville and in Knoxville. So there's like, yeah, 6 or 7. There's, I mean, so that would be a lot. Now I noticed this when we did our Ohio, and I thought it was strange, but Ohio State University has an airport. So I wonder how many colleges or universities or colleges have airports. The only other place I knew had only other places I knew had any type of airfield would have been West Point, so Army, the Army has, I think, an airfield, and then I know that the Air Force Academy has an airfield. So, oh yeah, there's an airport we would add in doing the Navy playlist, and the
Delta
Marine,
6567, please
because it's
expedite your climb
technically a
flight level
Marine
410.
base, but Fighter Town USA, Miramar, would be visited in 2 different playlists. So, guess I know for Navy we would have the F-18, and then the Tomcat would be the 14. I don't know if I'm going to get any other aircraft. Air Force will have the F-16, which does not fly the way I'd
Delta
like it to.
6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
They have the F-22 Raptor I could get, and then of course, obviously, Air Force One. I could do every Air Force base flight with Air Force One. I could. But maybe that's why I need 2 jets, depending on the length, and you know, we don't need to be bunny hopping with Air Force One. Now, in Flight Sim 2024, we have the playback recorder, and you can put Ghost Fleet with you. Unfortunately, you can't pick the aircraft with you. Or, if I was playing with Air Force One, I would pick an F-16 and an F-22.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
One on each side of Air Force One as escorts. But you can't do that. It would just be another Air Force One. And Air Force One does not... There are 2 jets that can be call-signed Air Force One. Well, any Air Force plane can be call-signed Air Force One. But there are 2 identical planes with that paint job. They don't fly at the same time. Are we at cruise, according to me? So yeah, it was either do, you know, do more US stuff, or do we do, another country? And I think I'd rather do more playlists in the US, it's more of what I know. Like I said, I want to do Air National Guard. And Air National Guard's the more interesting one. I think I know for a fact there's a C-130 at McGee-Tyson Airport on the McGee-Tyson Air National Guard base in Knoxville. Just in case people are wondering, if you look at the map, it is confusing. Knoxville Airport is not in Knoxville. It is actually in what we call Alcoa, and it's not even in Knox County. It's in Blount County. So the airport's in Alcoa, Blount County, Tennessee. Not Knoxville, even though it's called Knoxville Airport. Chattanooga Airport is within Chattanooga County and City. But, so yeah, now I was looking at this, and, the Army National Guard does not have any
Going to
military,
134
does not have any
Delta
aircraft.
6567.
They are solely
Kansas
boots on
City
the
Center
ground.
Delta 6567 is passing flight level tree 9 or 5, climbing flight level 410.
They do get transported around, but they specifically themselves, I don't think, have any aircraft they maintain, unlike the Air National Guard. I will look that up while we still cruise here. Let me add a new window on my iPad here. Army National Guard aircraft. Yeah, all they do is troop supply transport, medical evacuations, reconnaissance. They use the UH-60 Blackhawk, the CH-47 Chinook. We already have the Chinook. The AH-64 Apache, and the UH-72 Lakota. So, if I do a playlist with the Army National Guard, we're going everywhere in a Chinook. I don't think I want to buy.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
Yeah, so what's your fixed wing? I didn't say anything about their fixed wing. Disaster relief, combat support, medical evacuation. So, now I know the Air National Guard share airports with civilian airports. I'm not sure whether the Army National Guard does or not. That's interesting. So, yeah, I could buy the other aircraft that I read off. There's probably Black Hawk in the game. That's probably given. There's probably an Apache.
Your climb flight level 410.
But again, I can't do those in 2020, and they have to be done in 24, and then we have to do the whole flight from one location to another. No, come back up. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't give me. What are the fixed-wing aircraft the Army National Guard uses for transporting their troops? Yeah, I don't know why it didn't give me one. Army National Guard uses, okay, the C-12 Huron and the C-26 Metroliner for troop and equipment transport, managing a fleet through the Operation Support Airlift Activity, OSAA, and the Fixed Wing Army Aviation Training Site, Okay, this makes sense. They abbreviated Fixed Wing Army Aviation Training Site to FWATS. Which aircraft provide critical the key aircraft. Okay, the 12, the 26.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
Now, I would have to order, like, the C-130, I know is converted from its regular. Um, so, okay, we do have Army. We have Army, to do, fixed wing and aircraft. So, that's, Army National Guard. So that is a new playlist I didn't think we would be doing, or that I could add. So we got, so we got NASA, Space Force, Coast Guard, Navy, Army, Air Force, Air National Guard, Army National Guard. That's 6 branches of military.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
Shuttle landing sites, and Army and Air National Guard sites. So that's 9 different playlists. We will definitely be going all over the world, especially when it comes to the especially when it comes to the Air Force bases and Navy. That's if there's, I say that, I know there's bases all over the world. Air Force definitely will be going all over the world. The other branches, I'm not quite sure. I think the only military base, the only military branch right now that is solely within the U.S. is the Space Force. I think even Coast Guard, which is technically not a branch of the military, and that's in quotes, it is a branch of the military by all accounts. It's structured as with military rank and everything. But they fall under Department of Homeland Security because they typically don't go over. I don't think Coast Guard has bases overseas, but the Space Force definitely does not. Now, the only reason I'm looking at was looking at aircraft. The other reason I'm looking at is if I want the livery, and so I might have
your climb flight level 410.
in my library already. I might have the civilian version of the C-130, but I want the one with the Air Force paint job on it. Alright folks, I've been talking long enough. Shall we skip to the skip to oh, we're still not even in cruise, golly. Do we skip to descent? We'll stick with this one a little longer than the other one. It is the last flight in this playlist. And
6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
yes, we want to go forward in time. We want to go forward in time instead of back in time. I don't know if I'll keep getting sceneries or not, but
Salt Lake Center Delta 6567 flight level 410.
Delta 6567 Salt Lake Center, radar contact, continue.
are we? Well, obviously we're not falling. I forgot I turned these off. What did I turn them off for? Oh, I turned them off when I was looking at the airport the other day. Alright, we've got 280 miles to go. So, yeah, I'm gonna be more careful. I think I need to be a little more.
You are 1,500
A little more selective on my sceneries. I like making
Climb and
every. I
maintain
like
flight
getting the
level
sceneries
410
because
Delta 6567.
adding the scenery supposedly makes everything look better. Supposedly. I wouldn't know sometimes. I can't tell the differences, and I've not really taken advantage of looking around at the airports. I really was hoping to continue this playlist because I wanted to go to Providence and check that out. I don't know if it's still at the SF, the Expo scenery in there or not. If it had that in there after you bought the scenery or not. Now, there are sceneries for Cape Canaveral, but nothing that affects the flight line. There's something where I could get the shuttle leaving, leaving the hangar on the crawler and heading to the pad. And then there's always a launch at 2 p.m.
Delta 6567, please
I,
flight level 410.
I'm gonna say it's probably 1400, according to US. I don't know what the Zulu time would be. And it probably happens every day within the game. So, I mean, we could have watched that, and if I wanted to land the shuttle, I would have done a launch, and then we would have brought the shuttle back down. But I'm not gonna do that. So there's no scenery that changes all of Kennedy Space Center that I know of. Granted, I only care about Cape Canaveral and the landing strip. The skid strip. I don't... IRL, yes, I care about Kennedy, and it'd be nice to... But we're not going to check that out. I only care to do the landing.
Flight level 410.
So I'm not sure. The same thing, so Space Force bases used to be Air Force bases. So I'm not sure whether we will revisit some of these Space Force bases when we do the Air Force bases tour. I don't know if the Space Force specifically has aircraft they use or not. It's not something I looked up yet. I think I was just gonna use a, and it's not, let me correct myself in an earlier video I made, whether someone watched that and they're watching this. It is not Space Force 1 for the President's call sign. If the President's flying on anything designated from the Space Force, it would be Guardian 1. Space Force personnel are called Guardians. They have a similar rank structure to the E1 to E9, but they are definitely more different in the names than the other branches. And then I think even their officer ranks, I don't know if they follow Air Force, but I'm not sure if they follow Air Force ranking to the letter.
Level 410.
I don't really understand why we needed Space Force. The Air Force contingency was handling it. I don't know why you need to create a separate branch to handle whatever they handle. It seems silly, but there's a lot of things that seem silly that's happened from 2020 to 2020. From 2016 to 2020, and now from 24 till 28 are going to be some more weird things.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
We currently have a weird situation going on now anyway. I think it's strange that I don't want to talk about it, we'll put it that way. I mean, I want to talk about it, but I don't need nasty comments popping up on my videos later. It just... weird shit happens in the US quite frequently lately. I hit descent. You wouldn't know that we were on the descent, would you? I don't remember hearing a call. Do I need to make a call? Do I need to make a call?
6567, please expedite your climb flight level 410.
You know, I think I had to do that last time, didn't I? I had to call back. ATC. Yeah, I had to get IFR clearance.
Salt Lake Center Delta
last time.
6567 requests destination change to Salem.
Delta 6567 is cleared to Salem Airport as filed. Squawk 1357.
Delta 6567 cleared to Salem Airport as filed.
Look at that, now we're
Squawk
descending again.
1357.
Delta 6567, read back correct. Radar contact, flight level tree 85. Turn right heading 285, proceed on course descend and maintain flight level 280.
Ah, haha.
Turn right
see, I
heading
fixed the
285, resume own navigation, descend.
I don't know
and
why we
maintain
moved
flight
to the
level
left.
280 Delta 6567.
You gonna move back to the right? Is it just me, or do we have a really big APU? APU? This plane's got a big asshole. Look at that asshole. It's huge. So, yeah, so I don't know what I want to do next. Don't want to go in order of birth? If that's the case, we're doing the Army, then Navy. I don't know when the Army National Guard became a thing. I think Army National Guard only became a thing after, probably after... I'm guessing the Air National Guard and Army National Guard / reserves for each branch only became a thing, I think, after Vietnam. Because Vietnam was the last draft. And since now we have the reserves and we have the Army and Air National Guard, which Army and Air National Guard are domestic. They typically don't go overseas. And they protect the home, land, and skies from foreign and domestic problems. And relief. So, the Air National Guard has gone overseas, and so is the Army National Guard. They've gone overseas to help with relief efforts and,
Descend and maintain
medical
flight
and all
level
that.
180 Delta 6567.
So this was probably a 2-hour something flight, and I was rattling on, talking, just because I was trying to make this... I didn't want to do this full flight, but, wow, is that a lake, or is that just a... I'm not gonna take the drone camera down, but is that a lake? It just looks weird. Or is it the way the sun's hitting the rocks, giving the shades? It looks like a lake. There's one way to find out. Is there a blue... Ah, it is a lake. BNO. Bino. We're in Oregon. Okay. We were gonna go across the whole state to get to Salem. So, I don't know. My first video, if NAS is the next playlist I do, the first video will be a short one, and I might pre-record that. If I can do something within a 10-minute window, I'll record it using, you know, the old-fashioned way with the Xbox, and then use my phone, although I don't want to do that, or my iPad, I mean. It just won't look as nice. But the first video, the way I have it, I'm planning it out in my head, which means that's probably what I should do next, is that, it might be only a 15-minute video to start off the series. I'm not sure if I should do a full circuit, like, should I take off with the aircraft with the shuttle on its back from Kennedy and then land back at Kennedy?
Maintain 16,000 feet.
Or should I just launch a flight
Descend and
with us
maintain
coming in to land
16,000
at
feet,
Kennedy?
Delta 6567.
I don't know. I think I want to do a circuit, which I don't know how long that flight would be if we did a flight path leaving from Kennedy. Do a flyover of Johnson Space Center, just so we're under Houston control, and then come back. At 15,000 feet as our ceiling, that could be a long flight. So, I don't know. I first have to get that aircraft. I have to do that at the minimum. So I don't know. I don't know what playlist will be next. So it's just me to get really quiet. It didn't get really quiet. Okay. Like, why are we... What are we doing? I've seen to lost all external audio. I couldn't hear anything outside. How is it that I have no external audio? We're not at idle. But we might as well be.
Delta 6567, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain 16,000 feet altimeter, tree 0.05.
Climb and maintain 16,000 feet, Delta 6567.
We're 500 feet, well, less than 500 feet below. I don't know if we're climbing back up. Yeah, there's... I thought something was wrong with my audio. We're going back... I can't stand being in the cockpit. It's so loud. I would throw a survey up, but there's too many options there. We got 9 playlists. 9. More interesting one for me is landing sites of the shuttle. Space Force would be the shortest playlist, where I don't have to add anything in.
6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
But I am not
Delta
sure.
6567, contact Seattle Central on 128.15. Good day.
Okay, I need to leave that page open now.
Delta 6567.
Open another
Goodbye.
tab.
Seattle Center Delta 6567 is passing 15,500 feet, climbing 16,000 feet.
What aircraft does the
6567
United States
Seattle
Space
Central,
Force
altimeter
use?
30.02 radar contact, continue.
Let's read here. The U.S. Space Force does not operate traditional aircraft. Its primary aircraft are orbital vehicles, specifically the Boeing X-37B orbital test vehicle, a reusable robotic space plane used for testing and space technology demonstrations, while the U.S. Space Force works with the Department of the Air Force's Rapid Capacities Offices on the X-37B program. The Space Force's role is focused on its spaceflight and orbital operations rather than piloting aircraft. So, it's interesting that the logo for the United States Space Force highly represents what Star Trek fans know and why Star Trek fans are upset. And I'm kind of irritated with the fact that it was used IRL, but, you know who's to blame for that?
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Gene Roddenberry, for one, the creator of Star Trek, did not apparently get a patent for the Delta logo. You know, Paramount or NBC, whoever the current owner of Star Trek stuff is, which is Paramount right now, and CBS, they didn't put a patent for the logo either. So, you know, it was in free use to... No, I mean, and the logo's not the same as the Star Trek logo, it just very closely represents it.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Generals, okay, I'm just looking at stuff here. Chief Master Sergeant of the Space Force. So they don't operate their own aircraft yet. They have military bases with
Delta 6567, please expedite
runways.
your climb 16,000 feet.
So, what am I supposed to do about this? How we gonna check out the space bases if they don't actually have an aircraft of their own? List of U.S. Space Force bases. Don't you love I do my research while we're flying? I don't need background. Yes, we know that there's no action.
Please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Yeah, they're former Air Force bases, so that's why there's probably runways, but primary mission. Okay,
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
some of these don't make sense. Buckley Space Force Base, Peterson, Shriver, Los Angeles. Just says Los Angeles Air Force Base. I don't know. I don't know. Patrick, Vanderburg, Cheyenne. Oh, Cheyenne Mountain, not just Cheyenne. Cheyenne Mountain Space Force Station. Cape Cod. And New Boston Space Force Station. And those are what are located within the U.S. Space Force. So the Space Force does have bases outside of the U.S. Okay. RAF. Clear Space Force Station. Alaska. Well, so that's not. I mean, that is outside of the U.S. But it's still within the U.S. Looks like. Oh, we got a few in the UK. Most of them are still within the US, but a few in the UK, and we've got a Space Force base in England.
Please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
So that's roughly a short list. But I'm not sure what aircraft we would use. Let's see here. Get off my screen. Right, I want to keep that up. I need that one. What type of aircraft land at U.S. Space Force bases?
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
The X-37 space plane. I don't think there's a space plane in the game. We've got the B-1B Lancer, the Boeing C-40 Clipper. They also support Air Force units, F-16, the Falcon. The Falcon? I don't know if we have that in the game. Formerly
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Okay. F-16. Oh, it is the F-16 Falcon. Fighting Falcon. I don't know what I was. Like, what? Okay, so yeah, I already have that. Lockheed U-2. Boeing C-40 Clipper, C-20 Gulfstream G3, the C-37 Gulfstream, G5/G550, and the C-130 Hercules. Don't I already have a Hercules in the game? I'll have to look.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
So if there's already a Hercules in the game, I think it's Hercules or something else, though. Okay. So, I can just use F-16s or the or a C-130. But I think I'm gonna have to buy a C-130. But if there's something already in the game called Hercules, I think there is, but I think it's just something else. I don't think it's a C-130. There's aircraft in 2020 I've not even flown, so who knows?
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Are we going to be able to land? I think I tested this the other day. I think we barely landed. I don't even think there's a hangar here for this, so technically an Airbus would not be coming to Salem. I think there's no gates. There were gates at Oklahoma City. But when you land there, the game, probably because it was too big, the game just sent me over to general aviation parking. And we had to make our own parking spot over at the gates. Have we been burning fuel?
Please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Have I been burning fuel this whole flight? I could have swore I had this on unlimited fuel. I didn't change that setting. So is this one of those rare planes where our fuel just doesn't deplete? Or has it been stuck at 19% this whole time? So, I have no idea what I want to do next. Either way, I gotta buy something. If I'm gonna use the Chinook, I think I need to check its liveries, and I need to see if there's I might need to look to see if there's any liveries for it, or I might need to buy the military version of the Chinook. I know that's sometimes the case where you have to have duplicate aircraft, because you got your civilian version and then you got your military version. I mean, if you really want to be nitpicky, the Air Force used to be under the Navy, under the Army, as the Army Air Corps. So, and now our Space Force was split from the Air Force. So, you have two branches of the military that were split from one. So,
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
And the Coast Guard was its own thing. It wasn't split from the Navy. Marines, I think Marines is one of those that, because they cover ground, Army, and they're ground and sea and air. The Marines is one of those ones that covers all three categories: land, air, and sea. As in the song, the actual theme song for them. So I don't know how you do that. But the United States before,
Delta
before it was the United
6567,
States, it
please
had
expedite
state
your climb
militias,
16,000 feet.
and, so technically you could say the Army National Guard was our first military. But, you know, Army National Guard came along a lot later. And that's basically what the Army National Guard is state militia. For when a governor of a state needs military, personnel to do stuff. Usually, it doesn't come from a higher authority. But we have, again, weird issues in the U.S. lately. But yeah, so, you know, the Coast Guard sounds like it would be a split off from the Navy. So the Navy takes care of, you know, takes care of the waters outside of the U.S. borders. And then the Coast Guard takes care of the waters within the U.S. Within U.S. borders and along its coastlines. But that's not that ain't the case. Yeah, there's some nasty weather out west. What time is it? It is...
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
going on 9 a.m. West Coast. That can't be right. That ain't right. It's 9:42 on my iPad. Salem is 3 hours behind. I know I moved forward in time from what I took off from Oklahoma City, but that doesn't make sense. But what can I do about it, right? You know, yep, August 26,
Delta
2025.
6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
Yeah, well, you told me to descend, then you told me to climb. And we're just gonna always stay, like, 480 feet below our assigned altitude. As we cross over the... Just the Rockies we're crossing over right now? You wouldn't know that I skipped the descent, not the approach. That's why we're still doing it. We are about to be on the approach. Yeah, I thought Portland was the capital of Oregon. Portland's the largest city.
Delta 6567, please expedite your climb 16,000 feet.
How far do we gotta go? Ah, it's loud in here. 57 miles. The thing is, finding the aircraft. It says Army on the side of it. I think that's in 24. I don't know if it's in 2020. I'd have to find that. Well, I could really do some retro stuff, but it did.
Delta
There's
6567,
basis.
descend and maintain 6,200 feet.
We could
Descend and
do a
maintain
tour of all.
6,200 feet, Delta 6567.
We could try and do a tour of blimp and airship
Delta
bases.
6567, you are 52 miles east. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect localizer back course runway 13 approach via ARTTY transition. Clear TTY.
In fact, I think I was
Maintain
at
present
one of
heading and
the
altitude. Expect
bases.
localizer back course runway 13 approach via ARTTY transition. Cleared to ARTTY Delta
in career mode in
6567.
24. I was at an airport.
Delta 6567,
I looked up on this
contact
wall,
Seattle Center
on the
125
building,
Good day.
and it said Zeppelin. So
125.8 Delta 6567. Goodbye. Seattle
always
Center
talking
Delta
over ATC,
6567
aren't
is
I?
passing 13,000 feet, descending 6,200 feet.
Delta 6567 Seattle Center altimeter 29.905 radar contact. Continue to ARTTY.
Well, no, we're not ready for landing lights just yet. Soon, though, soon. There's some water down there, a river, heading out west. Oh. I don't know if we're getting SU4 beta released this week. Of course, I miss phone calls when I'm on the headset, because I don't hear shit. Who the freak called me? Yeah. And then they leave the transcript of the message they left is just, can they speak to me? With my name. I don't know what it is. I don't answer my phone unless it's a call I'm expecting. I used to get stupid phone calls all the time. I'd answer them, and then I'm like, why the hell do I answer my phone? I really don't need a phone. I mean, I look up stuff on my phone like I do my iPad. I play games on my phone. I don't use my phone for what you normally have a phone for. Rarely. I probably could drop to a lower phone plan because I don't use it enough to make calls or anything. But it'd be my luck. I drop down to where I'm got limited music or minutes, where I'm limited by minutes and text things, and then I run out. So I got the lowest plan with U.S. Cellular that gives me unlimited talk and text. But I could go one plan lower. Now we need landing lights. Not runway, turn lights. There we go. We have... Wait a minute. 34, but then there's an 18.7. Looks like 23 to me. So, what is it? Alright, that's enough of that. Oh my, that is loud. Then I feel like I have to yell. Which doesn't come across good to you guys, because then I'm yelling. And you guys don't need me yelling. So much for cutting out part of the trip, huh? I think this is 2.5 hour trip. So I mean, we're still. I probably cut out about an hour. Let's see. What else am I doing when I'm done here? I gotta do some career mode flights before I go outside and do what I do every morning. And then, get back in the cockpit. Do some more career flights. I don't know. That's basically my days. I get up, I fly. It's actually a weirdly a good thing that this is the last flight in the schedule, because I normally I was typically doing a flight every Tuesday and Thursday, and I don't know. Yes, never mind. I would have still been able to get one in Thursday if I was going to do one Thursday. I think whatever I do, we will start the new playlist. I say playlist. It's not a playlist till I make it one and I add another two videos. I will start the next series on next Monday, September 1st. Right? Yeah. So, I have 6 days to figure out what I want to do, or 5, really. I gotta figure out what I want to do, because then I need to know whether I need what I need to buy on what needs to be bought. I have 2 aircraft for 24 career mode. Anytime something pops up there, and any aircraft that pops up there, I've been buying it, just because I know I can either pick it, or it will pop up, although sometimes that might not happen to you. If you're playing and you've bought an aircraft, you have to pick the plane itself for it to, when searching for missions to do with it, else you may never come across it. Okay, so we gotta do a backtrack. So we gotta go out there and then come back. So I guess you call this the join? Because there's where we're going right there. McNary Field. I wish, in this instance, you guys could give me feedback of the 9 things I've said. Which playlist would you want to see first? But I don't think anybody actually pays attention enough to give me an answer. Okay, we're like slightly off on the waypoint here. For a minute there, I thought it was gonna load in. Yeah, we gotta do some weird backtrack shit here. So. We are the only country that ever had
Delta 6567 descend and maintain 3,000 feet.
that ever
Descend and maintain
created
3,000
shuttles.
feet, Delta 6567.
think Russia might have. I don't know if we're doing that now. I don't know if there's reusable rockets or if they're one and done. But they tried to do a shuttlecraft. It just never left the ground. Look it up. Look at if you're interested in spacecraft or aircraft in general. Look up the what other countries may or may not have done. I think Russia was trying to develop their own shuttle, and then I think they stopped when they realized we were having problems maintaining ours. I don't know what the reason for them stopping was. Hey, we have an aircraft. Is that at McNary? No, McNary's back there. There's an aircraft over here. N39 9EE. November 3 9er 9er Echo Echo. It sounds like we've been gliding this whole time, and we haven't. It's just the engines aren't making any noise, but that's probably because I have the engine noise turned down
Delta
really low.
6567 descent and maintain 2,200 feet.
Right.
Descend and
We're
maintain
making our right bank.
2,200 feet, Delta 6567.
Over Watts Landing. I mean, you guys can see what's on the screen. I don't know what I think we all do that. All of us creators in flight sim, we all say stuff that's kind of obvious.
2,500.
I wasn't expecting a call out. And I'm not gonna. It's not gonna become my aircraft till I think I'm in a good position to take control. Which, so far, might not be to the last minute. So, I'm guessing Army National Guard, even though they have aircraft, they probably leave from actual military bases. So I don't know
2,000.
how interesting that would be, hopping to base to base from, because it might be the same as the Army. Although there's probably less Army National Guard stations than there is actual Army bases. I'd say maybe 2, maybe 1 or 2. Wow, you can hear the environment noises. I forgot it. I left that up and turned the engine noise down, so yeah, you can hear birds. What I was saying is, I don't know. I would say there's probably at least one Army National Guard installation per state. So you have at least 50, and then there's probably some overseas. But there could be multiple Army National Guard installation, bases of operation. I think there's only one in Tennessee. Fort Campbell is an Army base, and I think that's where the Army National Guard is headquartered. Whereas our Air National Guard, even though we do have an Air Force base, our Air National Guard that I know of, at least one is at McGee-Tyson. So Army might be in that weird thing too, where they might be attached to something. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do quite a bit of research to do when doing the
Delta
Army National Guard.
6567, you are 9 miles Salem Tower on 119.1 when inbound on the approach.
Tower on 119.1 Delta 6567. Salem Tower Delta 6567 7 miles northwest inbound localizer back course runway 13 tree approach.
Delta 6567 Salem Tower. Altimeter 29.87 wind 295 at tree.
Are we too fast or too slow?
Runway 13 approach.
Probably
Delta
too fast.
6567 wind 295 at tree. Cleared to land runway 13.
Cleared to land runway 13 Delta 6567.
My aircraft. Boop, 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 boop. I don't know. I'm doing that. I don't know if the plane actually did it, but it's my aircraft. I think it is. Is it? I don't know if it's my aircraft. It's not moving. Yeah, I turned that off. Alright, fine, it's his aircraft.
1,000.
I couldn't get it back lined up. Well, this is gonna be a terrible landing, folks. Not done by me. Because we are high. You are high.
500.
Are you going to be able to
400.
land and stop? I mean, if this was
300.
me, I would probably do a go-around.
Too low.
But-
Terrain.
200.
You're not even lined up on the
100.
runway.
70, 60,
Sink rate.
40,
Oh my God.
30, 20, 10. Retard, retard, retard.
Well, they're down. What do we got? 727. Oh my. Of course, we couldn't land a series with a good, nice landing. But they did slow down.
Delta
And time to
6567
turn off.
next taxiway.
Oh, there's X's on some of the runways. Oh, there is right there on that taxiway. Welcome to Salem, Washington. Or, Salem, Oregon. Salem, Washington. It was a 1.4G with a 3-star. So, it's not a bad landing, but feet per minute, it
Delta
was bad.
6567 turn next taxiway.
I am.
Delta 6567 contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9 Delta
knots.
6567. Goodbye.
Wind was at 11 degrees, 6 knots at 11 degrees. I think that's how that's read. And of course we weren't going to a gate. But, is that another Airbus? It looks like another Airbus sitting there, or a smaller version of this paint job. What are we stopping for? Ooh. You just gonna stop there? I still see blue arrows. What are you doing? My aircraft. I'm hearing noise. I hear jet noise. It's not from us. At least I don't think it is. Yeah, that's a tiny aircraft sitting there. Compared to us. It looks like we have some texture issues. Because they're pink. Which means something's different. Or I have a scenery that's not coinciding with them. This looks like a town right here. Is this really a... What is this? Is this a town right here? Nope, there's a little aircraft. Yeah, we are way too big here. I think that's the biggest aircraft right there. Is that the Hercules? I can't get out and look. But we will... We will park right here. Camera. Showcase. Oh god, I keep forgetting not to hit the bumpers. Okay, so if it's showing up as static, does that mean I already have it? Let's look. Hercules, right? Or I can just type in C-130. What do I want? Hangar? Hangar. Change aircraft. Can I search? If I can not lose it. Let's see, we want C-130. Well, that's because I did the wrong. No? Herc. H-E-R-C-U-L-E-S. Hercules. That's not the Hercules. So, but that was under turboprops, wasn't it? So, let's see. I don't see it there. Let's see, is under props. I'm just gonna check. I don't, I mean, if I already have it, that's great. But I don't think it's here. These are all gonna be the tiny... I say that, and then there's the weird thing like the Donner. I think the Donner is one of the... You got your Curtis too here. The Donner was one of the ones with the livery that I want. So we got a C-47. C-47, isn't that the same as the DC-3? But this is the military the C-47 is the military version. The Alice's... Yeah, there's some things in here I haven't even tried yet. Is it the DCH-4 Caribou? I think it's the Caribou that was the, Army. Alright, Other? It might be under Other. Well, we gotta do X. That's a boat thing. The Hercules H4. It's not the H4, I know that one. Let's see. I can't fly these in this game, but, the Wasp. The Scout and the Wasp. Wait a minute, there was... something not here that should be. That's not what I'm talking about. Where's the, Thunder Jets? Now I know something's missing from the library. There it is. The Pelican. Yeah, I don't have many jets, do I? Is this it? The 31? No, that's not it, is it? No, cause that's... no, yeah, that's not it. So, I have an aircraft, a static aircraft, at an airport, but I don't own the aircraft. C-130. E Hercules. They're all Captain Sim. Why is there... like, which livery pack do you get? These are different countries. Okay, here's the... what's the difference between the E and the H? And then you have the Super Hercules. So that's that's $5. Yes, that's if I was gonna pick one, I would be getting the J. EK livery. Oh, the 8K livery of the U.S. Air Force Airlift Squadron Flying Jennies. So that's probably not out of here, but, you know, I only want one. Alright, folks, that is the end of this series and a look into what I'm thinking of doing later. I hope to see you guys next Monday, and, I don't know what we'll be doing. So we got Army, National Guard, Air National Guard, Space Force, NASA, Coast Guard, Marines, Navy, Army, and Air Force. I think that's 9. I believe that's 9. So I don't know where we'll begin. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, on YouTube, please hit that like and that subscribe. On Twitch, please hit that follow. And please join Discord, MattyLLin_62552. And thank you for watching this whole playlist if you've been with me or you've watched these on demand. Alright, folks. Good day.